STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, problem-based learning. These are the concepts that are important in education today. The annual Cardboard Canoe Race at Firestone is going to show those concepts in action. The students will be given an open-ended problem, a common bill of material, and be asked to create their winning boat. The concepts: buoyancy, displacement, center of mass, force. This shows them the application of those concepts, the answer to a real-world problem. Welcome to the annual Cardboard Canoe Race at Firestone High School, sponsored by Project Lead the Way, the pre-engineering program.
And welcome to the Firestone High School Boat Competition 2017. This year's theme will be Spongebob SquarePants, everyone's favorite sponge that lives under the sea. This year's course is in the shape of a star, and the whole point of it is to collect the Krabby Patties at the different stations and then make it over to the end point where there's the chum bucket and the Krusty Krab. If you land your hamburgers in the chum bucket, you get 2 seconds taken off your score. And if it goes into the Krusty Krab, 1 second will be added to your time. If you do not stop to shoot the Krabby Patties and just keep going, you'll lose 6 seconds will be added to your time at the end. And we're waiting for the first group to be put in the water. That group is from Firestone, and it's Joseph, Tabin, Rachel, and Ian. I'm Mike, and I'm here joined by Maggie.
Hello.
We'll be announcing the competition today. The first boat is now being placed in the water.
On that team, we have Joseph, Tabin, Rachel, and Ian, and in the boat, we have Tabin entering and Rachel about to get in.
And they're waiting to be started, and now they are off. They're paddling as quickly as they can to the first station to get their first Krabby Patty.
In the front of the boat, we have Tabin, who his dream college and major is to go to Embry-Riddle in Arizona and in aerospace engineering. In the back of the boat, we have Rachel, who would like to go to Akron for electrical engineering.
They're about halfway to the first station, paddling hard, kind of turning away from the station, working their way back. And they're just about there. And now they have the Krabby Patty and are going to head across the pool to the second station.
When asked what their favorite class was, Tabin said that his was Algebra 2 Trig and Rachel's is DE, and they are both in the robotics club here at Firestone High School.
This one's going a lot better. They're making a better progress from the first to the second post than from the start to the first post, because it's just a straight line across the pool. Now they're trying to turn around so they can position themselves to get to the third station a little better. And they have that Krabby Patty and are on their way to the third station. Seems like they've figured out how to paddle a little better than before, because they're moving a lot quicker.
But they're going down in the back. They're
true.
sinking.
You can see Joseph and Ian over behind them, cheering them on, telling them how to paddle. And they're almost to the third station. They now have that Krabby Patty in their boat, and they're heading up our way to shoot that into either the hopefully into the chum bucket.
As they're on their way to the chum bucket, when asked what their favorite SpongeBob character was, Tabin said that his was Mayonnaise, the character who says, "Is mayonnaise an instrument?" And Rachel says Squidward.
They're so close to the point where they can shoot. Looks like they are getting ready to stop. And let's see who's going to be shooting them. Looks like Tabin will be shooting the Krabby Patty since he's in the front. First one misses. Second one tries to bank it off the wall, but he still misses. And they're struggling to find the third one in the boat.
It appears as though they've lost the third one in the boat.
They cannot find the third Krabby Patty, so they're going without it. Heading back to the start/finish point. I don't know where they could have lost that Krabby Patty, but it's gone. And you can see that the bottom of the boat is very wet. They're sinking the boat. They're struggling to find where they're going.
They attempted to go back to spot 3 to grab the Krabby Patty that they missed, but
now they're figuring it out and making their way to the finish point. They're struggling to get it in the right way.
in order to finish the race, you have to touch the corner and bring the entire boat into the corner of the pool.
Which they have now done successfully. The next boat, which will be entering the water shortly, they call their team name the Fantastic Four. It's Luke, Ben, Stephen, and James, and their boat is called the SS Sonic.
In the boat, we will have Luke, Ben, Stephen, and James, all of which are freshmen here at Firestone High School.
This will be the first four-person boat of the day. Sometimes when you have four people, it's a lot better because you can get more power because you have four paddlers, but also you have more people in there and can risk tipping it over. Currently, some of the helpers are playing catch with the Krabby Patties.
And entering the water now, we have the SS Sonic. Entering the boat is Luke,
they're all in, and it looks like it's holding okay so far. They all have their paddles, and they're just waiting to be started. And now they're off, heading to the first station. Looks like the boat is starting to sink down in the water a little bit.
and Luke's paddle broke. So he is using just the end.
And they have their first Krabby Patty. Really nice time to get to the first station. They're having trouble turning it around to get to the second station, but they've seemed to figure that out now.
They're slowly losing their power as they're slowly sinking.
Their back is very close to going under, but it just has just enough space that they're not taking on water. They have their second Krabby Patty and on their way to get their third.
In the front of the boat, we have Luke and Ben, who both say their favorite class is IED and are both freshmen here at Firestone.
They have their third Krabby Patty and are now heading to get to the shooting spot. Luke's paddle has been replaced. So now they should be able to get a lot more power and should go a lot faster. First shot is made into the chum bucket. Second shot is made the chum bucket. All three shots in the chum bucket. And will take a total of 6 seconds off their time. They're very close to the finish line. Just a little more. And they're done. Very nice run right there. Crowd is going crazy. And we're waiting to hear their time.
Up next, getting in the boat, we have another team of freshmen, and their team name is the Spak Daddies, and their boat name is La Pina. This team is comprised of Daphne, Maria, Cyrus, and Jared. In the boat, we have Maria in the front, Daphne in the back, and Jared in the back right.
They're trying to turn their way over to the first stop. Looks like they're starting to figure it out now. Oh, and now they're turning around. One of their features of their boat is they have a pineapple on the front. They're trying to turn it around. Looks like they're currently trying to head for Station 3, even though they should be heading to Station 1. And now they're doing a circle again.
In the boat, Daphne wants to go to Texas A&M for ocean engineering, Maria would like to go into the trauma and medical field, and Jared would like to go to Akron or Wake Forest.
They have their first Krabby Patty. They're going to try to make it over to the second one. Spinning around. And now they're on their way over. Seems like they figured out how to paddle the boat now. They're not spinning around as much.
Going in a nice straight line, straight to Station 2.
And they have their second Krabby Patty. Heading to the third station. They're trying not to tip the boat.
And it appears their back right wall is starting to cave in on them.
And they have their third Krabby Patty now. They're now heading over to shoot the Krabby Patties into the chum bucket. They're trying to go to the checkpoint, the first checkpoint again. They're having trouble steering the boat. They just need to turn over.
As they approach, in the front of the boat, we have Maria, whose favorite character is Squidward.
First two made it in the chum bucket, and the third one is in too. All three of them are in the chum bucket, taking 6 seconds off their time.
In the back of the boat, we have Daphne, whose favorite SpongeBob character is Squilliam Fancyson. And in the middle, we have Jared, who chose Patrick.
Now they're heading back. The cardboard is staying pretty dry. Other than the one wall that's kind of wanting to cave in, it's really the boat's staying together very well. And looks like they've made it. And the next boat that will be in the water is, the team name is Boats and Bros, and their boat's called the Party Boat. The members are Jared, Micah, Michelle, and Maura. Jared and Micah will be in the boat.
Once he graduates from high school, Jared would like to go to OSU for agricultural engineering, and Micah would like to go to Florida for digital arts and sciences.
And now they're in the boat. The back of the boat's kind of tipping in as they're kind of turning around, trying very hard to make it to the first station. One of the features of this boat was a pair of cup holders in the front, so they could continue their party on the boat. Unfortunately, the cup holders fell out this morning and were not put back in. They can barely reach the Krabby Patty. Jared reached out his arm and put the Krabby Patty in the boat. And now they're trying to make their way over to the second station. The back of the boat is getting very close to the water level. And they have their second Krabby Patty now. On their way to the third station.
They're starting to gain momentum and figure out how to row as they approach.
Their other teammates are cheering. And they have their third Krabby Patty now. And are beginning to head their way up here so that way they can shoot the Krabby Patties.
Some interesting facts about Jared are that he plays CSGO in his free time and would like everyone to know that he does float.
And they're about halfway up the pool. They just hit their paddles against each other, trying to turn them. Seems like how Jared is paddling is confusing Micah. The first one made it. The second one looks like it's also made it. And the third one has made it as well. It would take 6 seconds off their time since all three of them went in the chum bucket. And they're turning back around to head it back to the finish line.
As you can see on the side of their boat, their walls are caving in. Their saran wrap is slowly falling off.
They had a portion of their cardboard that was cut out into the shape of a door that they had to repair. So the door is a weak point in their boat that they were concerned about, so they put extra cardboard around the door so the door cannot open or close. And they're getting very close to the finish line. And they've made it. So this is the first tinfoil boat coming up. Tinfoil boats are for the 11th graders because they've already built 2 cardboard boats in their career of building boats. So you got to get a better challenge. So for the tinfoil boats, you get some long pieces of wood, duct tape, some string, and also hot glue, as well as tinfoil to create the bottom of the boat.
So the first tinfoil boat of the day, the team is the Goofy Goopers, and her boat's name is Floaty McFloatface. This team has Logan, Kennedy, Alex, and Charlie, and Kennedy and Charlie are the lucky ones in the boat.
Only one tinfoil boat in the whole time of tinfoil boats has ever made it to the end of the course. Could we see the second one today?
Currently in the boat, we have Charlie sitting cross-legged and Kennedy attempting to sit in the back of the boat.
Charlie's wearing a fantastic tinfoil hat. And their boat is working, and they're off, heading to the first station.
One of the weaknesses of the tinfoil boats is that when they hit the wall, they tend to break.
But many of the tinfoil boats don't even make it to the first station. So if they make it to the first station, that's an accomplishment in itself. And they have their first Krabby Patty and have not hit the wall. They just barely touched the wall there, but not enough to cause any damage. And they're on their way to their second station. And they're being incredibly careful as they approach the second station, trying to keep the boat away from the wall, and they have their second Krabby Patty right now.
One of the biggest concerns of the tinfoil canoe is making sure that there's an even weight displacement. Typically, the boats tend to tip or just sink right to the bottom.
And they're almost to their third station. They have the Krabby Patty, are carefully turning so they don't hit the boat, or hit the wall with the boat.
And it appears they just collided with the wall.
Oh, Charlie just hit the boat with the paddle, trying to get it away from the wall. Right now it's looking okay. Doesn't look like any damage was caused by either the paddle or the wall.
As Kennedy paddles, you can see on her side, the back of the boat is sinking.
Oh, there goes the side of the boat. The side is caved in. Charlie's trying to keep it up, but he just knocked it with the paddle again, and the boat's going down. And that boat has sunk, but that was a great performance out of a tinfoil boat, something that we don't normally see. They made it to all 3 stations. They could not make it to the final point where they had to shoot the Krabby Patties.
Had they reinforced those walls, they might have made it. Up next, we have STEM High School, and their team name is the Teab, which is boat backwards, and their boat's name is Boat Teab. On this team, we have Anthony Brown, Jose Miller, and CJ Thine. In the boat, we will have Anthony Brown.
Currently, they're taking out all the pieces of Floaty McFloatface. And the next boat is being placed in the water right now.
Getting in the boat, we have Anthony Brown, who would like to go to OSU for engineering, and his favorite class is also engineering.
And they're getting started. He's kind of turning around in circles right now. Although he's spinning around, he's still making good progress to the first point. he is almost to the first checkpoint. He now has the first Krabby Patty in his boat. He used his paddle to bring it to the boat, which is kind of risky because you don't want to drop the Krabby Patty, because then you'd have to come back for it at the end. And he has made it to checkpoint 2. He has the Krabby Patty in the boat. Oh, he dropped the Krabby Patty. It did not make it into the boat. It slid off the paddle as he was bringing it back to the boat.
Some interesting facts about Anthony are that he participates in cross country, is in the Boy Scouts, and his favorite SpongeBob character is Patrick.
He's nearly to the third station. Has the last Krabby Patty. He dropped that Krabby Patty, but he was able to just grab it right out of the water. And he's making it to the point where he can throw the Krabby Patties into the chum bucket. And he's going to begin to throw the Krabby Patties. First one made it into the chum bucket. Second one into the Krusty Krab, and the third one into the chum bucket. So he will get 3 seconds taken off his time. And he's spinning his way back to the finish line. He's nearly back, spinning his way back. They've made it to the end of the course. Boat worked just fine. And the next boat is from Litchfield Middle School. The team name is called Genesis, and they called the boat the SS Genesis.
On the team, we have Aiden Ray, Caleb Garter, Jocelyn Hujar, and Liam Lee. In the boat, we should have Aiden Ray.
And the boat is being placed in the water.
And we have Caleb entering in the back. And Aiden in the front.
And the boat looks like it is about to tip over, and it tips over. The boat floated just fine, and it just wasn't very stable. The next boat is from NIF STEM. It's called Back to the Past as the team name, and the boat is called Flashback.
On the team, we have Callie, Leia, Grace, and Charlie.
And they have a larger boat since they're going to be having everyone in the boat, it appears. They're all piling into the boat. They have their paddles, and they're about to get started. They're paddling to the first station. Looks like it's trying to tip over a little bit, but they're fighting hard to keep it up.
Some interesting facts about Callie, one of the rowers, is that she knows Chinese, loves to read fiction novels, is in choir, and is one of 3 sisters. She is a triplet. She would like to participate in the debate club, some sports, and would like to be featured in one of her plays at her school.
They have their first Krabby Patty and are beginning to go over to the second station.
In the front of the boat, in the gray shirt, we have Grace, who would like to go to Yale for anthropology and science. Her favorite class is language arts, and she used to have 2 pygmy hedgehogs.
The boat's starting to tip a little bit. Looks like they're still able to keep it up as they head over and get their second Krabby Patty. They're reaching for their second Krabby Patty. Can't tell if they got it in the boat. Looks like they did. And they're heading over to the third station to get their final Krabby Patty.
As the only male in the boat, we have Charlie, who would like to be a cardiologist and go to Chicago University. And he would like to come to Firestone and join our IB and engineering programs.
Well, that front end of the boat is getting really close to the water. And they have their third Krabby Patty.
They chose an interesting design that incorporates part of a rhombus so that each person can be facing a different direction and row all at the same time.
And boat almost tipped over. They're still able to keep it up though.
Having one person each corner helps distribute the weight evenly. And
well, it's so close to tipping, but it's fighting to stay up. It looks like they have recovered from their, they recovered temporarily from their latest tip, but then they went right back into a new tip. And now they're completely over on their side, and the boat is sinking slowly into the water. The next middle school boat will be from Ss CLCl. Their team name is the Inventors, and they call their boat the Combustible Canoe.
Their team members are Danita Palmer, Cameron Davidson, and Jonte Gully. In the boat, we will have Cameron and Jonte.
And the combustible canoe is now in the water. And they're stepping into the boat. They're both in the boat now, getting their paddles, and they're off. And immediately they have tipped over. The next boat is from Roswell Kent Middle School. The team name is the Fantastic Four, and the boat is the Fantastic Four.
On the team, we have Ayana Harris, Andrew Brooks, Karina Weems, and Deasia Moore. In the boat, we will have Ayana and Andrew. Some interesting facts about this team is that all of the students said that their favorite class was their GTT class, and their favorite SpongeBob character was Patrick.
Looks like the boat is being put in the water. The boat is floating in the water, and they are stepping into the boat.
In the front of the boat, we have Ayana, and in the back, we have Andrew. Similar to the team before them, they chose a boxy canoe.
And they almost tipped over, but stayed up. They're having trouble steering it. Stability seems to be a problem, but it looks like that they're managing it. Oh, but he lost his paddle. He got his paddle back.
One of the things this team would like you to know is that they had many problems to get the boat to where it is today.
And they're making their way to the first station.
It appears though they haven't mastered the art of paddling as they attempt to get to Station 1.
They're doing a very good job of keeping the boat stable. It's just getting where they need to go. They have their first Krabby Patty and are heading over to the second station.
Their boat appears to be tipping more towards the right than the left side.
And they're spinning around. They're still moving in the right direction. Hope they don't get too dizzy. And they're about to get their second Krabby Patty. They're very close. They have their Krabby Patty in the boat and are heading over to the third station. And they have their Krabby Patty. They have all three Krabby Patties and are heading to the top where they can throw them at the chum bucket.
The question of the day is, can they get there without tipping though?
They've seemed to manage it so far. Trying to get away from that wall right now. The boat wants to tip, but they don't want to let it tip. They're fighting hard to keep the boat upright. It appears that the cardboard on the sides of the boat is getting a little wet, though.
As one of their sides cave in, it allows water to get right into the saran wrap and sink their boat. You can see the look of determination on these kids' faces.
And they get ready to shoot the Krabby Patties. First one goes in the chum bucket. Second one appears to go in the chum bucket, as does the third one. All 3 Krabby Patties have gone in the chum bucket, taking 6 seconds off. And they're on their way to the end. They're fighting hard to keep that boat upright. The boat nearly tipped there, but they were able to keep it up, trying to stabilize it, get their balance back so they can head to the finish line.
As you can see, the saran wrap has almost entirely fallen off on one side, allowing water to sit in the bottom of the boat.
And the boat has tipped. The boat is still floating, it just tipped over. So close to finishing the race. The next boat is from Jennings. The team is called the Demigods, and their boat is called Snapple.
On this team, we have Javon Torres, Richard Robles, Kangela Harris, and Rashid Chisholm. In the boat, we will have Richard and Rashid.
One of the really nice things about the boat race is that everyone from Firestone will come down and sit in the stands and watch. As the periods change, you can see a new group of kids come in and the old group of kids leave as they go to a different class. And the boat is being placed in the water. And they're off. They're working hard to get to the first station to get their first Krabby Patty. They have their first Krabby Patty and are working on getting their second one.
Some interesting facts about Richard is that he likes Dragon Ball Z and his favorite SpongeBob character is SpongeBob. For Rashid, his favorite character is Plankton.
And they are just about to make it to the second station. And they have the Krabby Patty now in the boat and are turning to head to the third station.
A very interesting design. They have a small cutout in the front of the boat to allow them to paddle when they're on their side.
They're nearly to the third station and are now reaching for the Krabby Patty. They have it, and they have placed it in the boat and are headed up here to shoot the Krabby Patty.
It appears they are losing momentum as they approach the baskets.
Paddling a boat can be very difficult, very tiring work, because the water is fighting against you as you push it back.
They've chosen to move to the sides of the boat to give them more area to paddle.
And they are shooting. They missed the first one, hit off the front of the chum bucket. The second one went in the chum bucket. And that one went in the chum bucket too. So they take 4 seconds off their total time because they made 2 into the chum bucket.
An interesting strategy. They chose to go from the side and keep a greater distance between them and the chum bucket.
They're showing faith in their basketball skills, shooting the
They appear to be drifting as they're going back to Station 3 rather than the finish.
Looks like they've turned the boat in the right direction now. Just a matter of staying straight. And they're nearly to the end. Just about to touch the wall, which ends their race.
Jennings Middle School is the first team from the middle schools to complete the entire course.
The next boat is the First East boat. The team name is Spongebob, and their boat's Spongebob, as the boat itself looks like a giant SpongeBob.
On the bottom of the boat, they have added arms to represent the arms of SpongeBob, and they have the face and general looks of SpongeBob. On this team, we have Jonathan Knox and Jacob Hinkle. Some interesting facts about Jonathan is that he is a 3.9 student. He enjoys football. His favorite class is GTT, and he would like to go to Ohio State, Oregon State, or Florida State.
And SpongeBob is now being placed in the water. And they have their paddles and are beginning to paddle away. Almost hitting one of the senior helpers with the paddle. But it appears that Matt, although nearly getting hit in the face with the paddle, is just okay.
One of the common things we've seen today is teams struggling to paddle and typically spinning in circles rather than going forward.
It appears that the arms of SpongeBob are almost getting in the way of where they want to paddle. Looks like they're almost going to Station 3, even though they're supposed to be heading to Station 1 right now.
Some interesting facts about Jacob are that he would like to go to Ohio State. His favorite class is gym, and what he would like you to know is that he likes sports.
They're paddling very fast. They're just not going where they'd like to go. Still working at getting that first Krabby Patty. They reached out with the paddle. They have it on the paddle, and they successfully have brought it into the boat. They're going to now attempt to head over to station number 2.
Rather than actually paddling, they are more skimming the water as they almost tip.
One of the problems with the boats with the higher walls is it's hard to reach the water with the paddle. So you end up just skimming the top of the water and not getting any real force.
With the box design that they have, it's better to do weight displacement and make sure that each person is in a corner or is equally centered so that the boat doesn't tip, as you can see.
They're working very hard to keep the boat upright as well as to make it over to the second station.
Rather than trying to reach each checkpoint, they're getting as close as possible and using their paddle to help them grab the Krabby Patties.
They're working their way over to the third station, trying their best not to tip. But they keep hitting the arms and legs of Spongebob. And currently they're on the same side of the boat, shifting all the weight to that one side, trying to balance it out, but they're struggling to stay upright themselves.
Going from sitting to kneeling and having to stand up in the boat is probably not the best idea. This is the first time that East has grabbed the Krabby Patty without using their paddle.
Now that they have all 3 Krabby Patties in the boat, they're going to start heading up this way to attempt to shoot them into the chum bucket.
Choosing to go for the kneeling position, both members have moved inside the boat, making it more even.
All their hard work just goes to show in Northeast Ohio, nothing is given. Everything is earned. Work for what you have. And the first Krabby Patty is in the chum bucket. This is the second one and the third one, taking 6 seconds off of their total time. And they're making their way over to the finish line. They hope to become only the second middle school boat to successfully make it through the course today. The next boat is from Higher Middle School. They have not submitted a team name or boat name. Looks like they're trying to save the Spongebob boat. The design of the boat is so beautiful, it'd be a shame just to throw it away. And the higher boat is now being lowered into the water.
It appears though it's very flimsy and is bending inwards.
The boat is in the water. We're just waiting for some people to get in the boat. It looks like they'll have 2 people in the boat.
And they're stepping in very carefully so that it won't tip.
Or perhaps all 4 are in the boat. Looks like they have some sort of fin there, maybe a steering device or a homemade paddle. But they won't have a chance to use it because the boat is going down as they wave to the crowd. The next boat may have the most anticipation of any boats of the day. It's Firestone's new principal, Mr. Johnson, with Mr. Svita, who did the boat race a few years ago and had the fastest teacher time. And everyone's here very excited for Mr. Johnson and Mr. Svita to go in the boat as they select their paddles.
We weren't sure if we were going to see Mr. Johnson today, seeing as how he sprained his ankle very badly and had to wear a boot for 3 weeks. It appears as though he has taken that boot off, though, to compete in the boat race.
He is working his way into the boat.
The boat that they were getting into was built by the seniors and juniors of the Firestone High School Project Lead the Way program.
The design is done by Mr. Spak, our teacher, who claims that a boat that he's built has never sunk in the history of the boat races.
Larry Johnson, who is the principal of the STEM High School, and Beth Bugner, who is a PBL specialist at the STEM High School. Their boat was probably made by...
They're going down.
Yeah,
they didn't get very
did
far.
not go far at all.
Oh, it's looking like he's going down, Jake.
Yeah, and
there goes the wall, and there goes the entire boat.
Or is that how it was designed?
And into the third is that the first ever sinking staff boat right there?
I think that is the first one.
I think that was a history being made right here.
Very typical to the teacher boat races with Mr. Svita, he is always in the back and would like to say that he is always the power of the boat.
And with ease, they are making it to the first station to get their first Krabby Patty and are already beginning their turn as they collect the Krabby Patty, being very efficient with their time.
A very good strategy on the part of Mr. Johnson and Mr. Svita.
And they've now made it to their second station, getting their second Krabby Patty, and are going to begin the turn to get to the third station.
As Mr. Johnson leads the way.
and they have made it to get their third Krabby Patty and are now heading up to the top to shoot them into the chum bucket.
This is one of the smoothest boats that we have seen today.
And here they are getting ready to take their shots.
Gliding with ease, they approach the chum bucket.
They forgot to shoot their Krabby Patties. Made it to the checkpoint for the shooting, but then forgot. They're shooting them from the middle of the pool. He makes the first one.
And leaves behind the other two.
Even the other one bounces off the wall into the pool, and the last one goes in the hallway.
That is a total of 2 seconds taken off of their time.
Still a great time because they made it through the course so quickly. As one of the Krabby Patty floats in the pool. Since they did not stop to shoot, they're getting a 6-second penalty. Although the shot from halfway in the pool was rather amazing.
The next boat we have are two of our Akron City Council board members, including President Lisa Mansfield.
It's like Mr. Spak's boat building reputation is still intact because the boat did not sink. They are selecting their paddles.
One of the things we here at Firestone like to do is we like to incorporate our board members and all of the principals from all of the different schools participating today. And for the first time, we have River Valley having a boat. They will be after all of the principal boats, and they're the company that provides us with our cardboard for our boats.
River Valley is a local paper company, and one of their claims is that they're a very green company. Using recycled cardboard for boats would be one example of how a company could be green. And they're having 3 members in this boat.
This is an engineering solution to an engineering problem.
And they're getting directions to start their race. They're heading to the first station.
Seeing as how there's 3 people, it's hard to go in a straight line because all people are paddling in different directions.
They're reaching out for their Krabby Patty. They have the Krabby Patty and it is now in the boat, so they can begin heading to get their second Krabby Patty.
Gliding with ease, they approach the second stop, and they have gotten the Krabby Patty.
The Krabby Patty is now in the boat and can head to the third and final station to collect Krabby Patties.
They've now gotten the hang of it and are gliding with ease to the third station.
They're turning to collect that Krabby Patty and are now on their way to throw them into the chum bucket. Heading up to the top of the pool. First one is missed. The second one is safely in the chum bucket, as is the third one. So they will get 4 seconds taken off. And they are heading over to the finish line to complete their race. The next boat will also be a board boat.
Next up is the main competition. It's another group of board members. Let's hear it for the second team of board members.
And another one of Mr. Spak's boats to survive the boat race. And the next board boat is being put in the water.
Very similar to the other Mr. Spak designs, this boat uses an angled front and a straight back.
And they're getting ready to go. Making their way over to the first station as quickly as they can. They have their first Krabby Patty and are going to begin to turn around and go to the second station to get their second Krabby Patty. They have their second Krabby Patty in their boat. They just need to turn and get their last Krabby Patty. They have their last Krabby Patty. And it seems like they're doing a lot better with the paddling. Took them a second to figure out how they wanted to do it, but they learned how to paddle and they're doing much better with teamwork.
One of the essentials to paddling is that you put the person who's typically stronger or the power in the back of the boat to propel them forward faster, and the person in the front is steering.
And they're throwing the Krabby Patties. One into the Krusty Krab, one into the Chum Bucket, and the other one missed. So they only get 1 second taken off of their time. And they're about to finish the race. Another successful staff boat. As they get one staff boat out of the water, it looks like another one will be coming in. Here comes the next staff boat.
Our next team is some senior staff members, Parr, and Ryan Kaitlin. Let's hear it for the senior staff members.
And they have both gotten into the boat successfully. They have their paddles and are getting ready to start. Working their way over to the first station.
They're not already on the floor. I would like to ask the Litchfield principal, the Jennings principal, the Spek principal.
They're turning around to head to the second station and get their second Krabby Patty.
This is one of the quicker teams we have had so far.
Went to the second station very easily. They have their second Krabby Patty and are now turning to go to their third.
Considering Mr. Johnson's failure to shoot, they may be rival this time.
They have their third Krabby Patty and are coming up to the top of the pool to throw them into the chum bucket.
This team is one of the better teams that we've seen that have paddled successfully through the course.
They're stopping to shoot. First one misses. Second one goes in the chum bucket, as does the third one. So 4 seconds will be taken off of their time. And now they're quickly paddling back to the finish line.
Up next, we have the Litchfield Middle School teachers. We have Mr. Whited getting into the boat, and they've chosen a design very similar to East, in which it is colored to look like Spongebob.
So for the waterproofing on this boat, they decided not to use the saran wrap, but instead use duct tape. We'll see how this works.
Typically, teams use saran wrap and use a heat gun to secure it to the boat so that no water can break through. But with the duct tape, it is less water resistant.
They're in the boat and have their paddles, and they're going to begin the race.
And they're down.
The boat immediately tips over. It appears that the boat had come apart into 3 separate pieces, something that you don't typically see when the boat sinks.
By the way, that is the first teacher boat to ever sink. So give
That was the first teacher boat to ever sink and one of the first teacher boats to not be designed by Mr. Spak himself.
Next up is the Jennings Principal.
We're waiting for the Jennings Principal boat to be placed in the water. This boat has some resemblance to a race car.
This is a sleek design that reminds me of a jet ski.
He's making a bold decision to stay in his dress pants and a shirt and tie. As he has his paddle, he's getting in the boat. And he's beginning his way over to the first station. There appears to be some stability issues with the boat.
Seeing as how this boat was built for one person, it better be stable.
He's paddling very carefully, trying not to tip over the boat.
As we all know from Aesop, slow and steady wins the race. But fast and steady is just the jump through that.
He's slowly making his way over to the first station to collect his first Krabby Patty. He has the first Krabby Patty, put it in his boat, and is working on heading to the second station to get his second Krabby Patty. He's nearly to the second station, and it appears that he has figured out a way to keep his boat more stable because he's paddling a little quicker now. He has the second Krabby Patty in the boat, and he's going to head over to the far corner of the pool to collect his last Krabby Patty.
One of the problems we can see with his boat is he has the front of the boat very extended outward from him, so it's hard for him to paddle, to get his paddle from both sides.
He's nearly to the third checkpoint to get his final Krabby Patty. He has the Krabby Patty now in his boat and is going to begin coming up to the top to shoot the Krabby Patties. He's really taking his time, making sure the boat stays stable.
Well, you know what they say, slow and steady wins the race.
He's made it to the top. He made the first Krabby Patty and the second and the third, taking 6 seconds off of his total time.
shooting as he can finish this out.
On the back of the boat, you can see that he has chosen to name his boat Faher from Workin. Surprisingly so, he has managed to keep himself pretty dry, seeing as how he's treading a lot of water. I don't know.
And it looks like the bold decision to stay in the shirt and tie has been a good decision because he's completed the race and he looked good doing so. And the next staff boat is for the principal of the STEM High School. And the boat is being brought over to the water right now. It has some sort of pointed tip at the top of it.
Different than most of these other boats, this one was designed by the STEM students themselves. And in the boat, we will have the principal, Dina Pope, and 2 of her students.
The boat appears to have some structural issues and possibly some stability issues as well. And they have their paddles and are headed off as the boat shakes through the water. No, almost had the boat tip.
Slowly, they're sinking in the back and the walls are caving in on them.
It's not a great combination to have in a boat. But they have their first Krabby Patty and are going to head over to the second station.
The back wall has now entirely fallen apart and water is slowly getting into their boat.
But they're still paddling hard, making it over to the second station. They have their Krabby Patty and are going to head over to the third station.
The question is, will they make it to the third station?
And it doesn't appear that they will, as the back of the boat tipped and the side of the boat, and then they fell out of the side of the boat. As they take out the STEM boat, take it out of the water, the next boat will be the River Valley boat. And the River Valley boat is being placed into the water. River Valley is our sponsor for this event. Donated all of the cardboard.
Their boat, which was built by engineering seniors, has a cool flag on it. That means constructing the flag.
They're getting into the boat. And they have their paddles and are just waiting to start.
And they're off.
They're paddling very quickly to the first station. And this boat was built here by seniors and designed by Mr. Spak. And they're turning away up, but they lost their Krabby Patty as they turned away. They're trying to paddle their way back to get it. They have their first Krabby Patty again, and are going to start heading over to get their second one. Paddling very quickly to their second station. And they have the Krabby Patty getting away from the wall and heading over to the third station. They now have their third Krabby Patty in the boat and are heading to the top.
Reach all their checkpoints and are going to shoot in the boxes.
And they are nearly to the top and are getting ready to shoot the Krabby Patties. First one is in the chum bucket, as is the second one, and the third one. And they're paddling quickly back to the finish line. They completed the course, and it's another perfect record for Mr. Spak's design boats. We're going to have student boats again. This next team is called the LPNJ team. They're from Firestone, they're 11th graders. This is a tinfoil boat called the Kite.
On this team, we have Jacob, Loy, Pranish, and Nick, and Pranish will be the sole member of the boat. This boat was designed around Pranish's body shape to incorporate him better. Some interesting facts about Pranish is that he would like to go to MIT for aerospace engineering and physics, and his favorite class here at Firestone is DE.
And they carefully pick up the tinfoil boat.
One of the problems that this team has had throughout their building is that they have a large designed boat with very little support on the bottom.
Okay, this is a treat. Next up is our second tinfoil boat.
The tinfoil boat is now in the water.
One of these has ever completed a course.
He has his paddle,
So this next up is
and he stepped into the boat and has successfully sit down in the boat.
Here goes.
And he's going to begin his race. carefully trying not to hit the tinfoil on the sides of the boat.
With the wide edges, it's making it very difficult to not hit them.
And the boat is tipping. When the boat tipped, he just kind of gave up and decided to go down with the ship. He didn't try to fight to keep it up. The next boat is from Litchfield Middle School. The team name is the Floaters, and they call their boat the Flying Crustacean.
On this team, we have Mark Earl, Brian B., Angel Stadelman, and Clay Peets.
Next up, representatives from Litchfield Middle School.
Some interesting facts about Mark and Brian is that Mark would like to go to MIT for mechanical engineering and can solve a Rubik's Cube in 35 seconds, and Brian would like to go to Harvard to become a medical chiropractor. And some interesting facts about him is that he does wheelies on his BMX bike, can do 5,000-piece puzzles, and tans squirrel hides for fun. Some interesting facts about Clay and Angel is that Angel has mastered the art of sleeping and can play the violin, and Clay is ranked nationally in cross country in the 2-mile.
And this is another boat that does not look like it has saran wrap for waterproofing, but is primarily duct tape on the bottom.
It'll be interesting to see if the water rises above the duct tape.
It's like all 4 of them are climbing into the boat, and the water does rise above the duct tape.
An interesting design, they've chosen to use a stabilizer in between to divide the boat in half and also keep the walls from caving in.
They're trying to turn themselves to the first station, but are just kind of hugging the wall. Pushing off the wall with the paddle. Trying to turn it. The walls are a little high for them to paddle effectively. They can't fully reach the paddle into the water.
So far, it appears as if no water has gotten to the bottom of the boat, and the duct tape is proving well.
This boat does not appear to have saran wrap on it. That will hurt its chances of...
After a little confusion with finding the first station, they've made it to the first station and got the first Krabby Patty.
Using the wall, they push off and are on their way to the second station.
They have made it to the second station, have the Krabby Patty in hand, and now it is in the boat.
This is the farthest of the Litchfield boats, none of which use saran wrap.
They're about halfway to the third station. They're at the third station, are reaching out for the Krabby Patty, have the Krabby Patty, and is in the boat. Now they're going to make their way up here to the top of the pool so they can shoot them in the chum bucket. Looks like they're going to have Clay shoot with one of the Krabby Patties in hand. Shooting from about mid-court, misses it. That one hits the flags and lands in the pool. That one hits off the front of the Krusty Krab.
Not wanting to waste any time, they're at risk of losing 6 seconds first flying by.
And they're heading back to the finish line. They said that they're not allowed to shoot from the middle of the pool, so it's a 6-second penalty. The next boat is from the NIF STEM Middle School. They call their team Team Rocket, and their boat is called Saltuna.
On this team, we have Tori Palmer, Gabe DeFiore, Jamie Meeker, and Jenny Skurlong, all of which will be in this boat.
The side of their boat has been decorated to read NIF, which stands for National Mariners Hall of Fame.
Some interesting facts about these kids is all of these students would like to participate in robotics at some point in their high school career, and 3 of the 4 would like to join the IB program here at Firestone.
They're stepping into the boat. Looks like there may be some balance issues. They're all in the boat, but it's tipping backwards. And now it's tipping on its side, and the boat has sunk before it could even leave the starting gate. The next boat is from Buchtel CLC. This is team 1040, and their boat's called the Convertible.
On this team, there's Jaden Hall, Sydney Starcher, Perry Powells, and Glenn Parker. Jaden and Perry will be in the boat. Some interesting facts about Perry and Jaden is that Perry would like to go to Harvard for engineering. He plays football and track, and his favorite character is SpongeBob. Jaden would like to become a sports and medicine physician. He would like to join the football team. And some interesting facts is that he has taken Stark State classes, and he has gone to 3 robotics competitions in which he placed 9th place. Some interesting facts about their other teammates is that Glenn says that I'm funny. Sydney is CPR certified and has 9 siblings.
They're in the boat, have their paddles, and are beginning to paddle away.
It appears they've gone with a more sleigh design that will hopefully help them glide through the water.
It's like their walls are starting to bend a little bit.
Taking their time, they approach the first station to grab the first of the 3 Krabby Patties.
They have the Krabby Patty in the boat, are turning and heading to the second station. They are nearly to the second station. Reaching out, grabbing the Krabby Patty. It's in the boat. Now they just have to head to the third station and get their 3rd Krabby Patty.
As they turn, it appears as though their boat is caving in on them and they are losing the space that they once had.
That being said, the boat is still floating well in the water, and they seem to have okay balance with the boat. They're nearly to the 3rd station. They're reaching out for the Krabby Patty, and they have it. Turning, heading to the top of the pool.
As they glide along, their saran wrap is loosening, and they appear to be struggling.
The boat appears to be turning a little bit. Where the sides of the boat have kind of caved in, it seems to have created a nice little elbow space for the paddles. And they're shooting the Krabby Patties. First one is made into the chum bucket. The second one also in the chum bucket. And as they search for the third one, the boat tips, but that one goes into the Krusty Krab. Turning away, and they're heading for the finish line. The boat is really caving in on them right now.
And the left front side is completely above the water while the right is submerged.
And they're spinning and tipping. Seems like they've taken on a little water. They seem to have recovered from that, though. They're really starting to spin right now.
Despite them falling backwards, they're trying to paddle in reverse and keep themselves above the water.
They're fighting really hard to keep the boat up. I think they're taking on a little bit too much water right now. Not sure if they're going to be able to recover from it. And the boat has sunk. The next boat is from Roswell Kent Middle School. The team is called the Water Horse, and their boat is also called the Water Horse.
On this team, we have Piper Malchuk, Don Marie Reed, Zach Shumway, and Katrina Pathel. In the boat, we will have Piper and Katrina. Some interesting facts about this team is that they all say that Gary is their favorite SpongeBob character, and they have all dyed their hair.
They're getting into their boat. They're being handed their paddles, and they can begin. Looks like the boat is having some stability problems, but they're still paddling over to the first station.
On the left side of their boat, the saran wrap has ripped and is sinking down into the water, possibly getting water inside of their boat. Similar to other teams today, this team has chosen to go with a rectangular shape, very simplistic.
They're reaching out for their first Krabby Patty and are going to begin turning over to the second station. Although they had some stability problems at the beginning, it seems like they've figured those out and are going much better. They're reaching for their second Krabby Patty, and now they have it in the boat and are going to begin turning over to get to the third of the stations.
Despite the boat tipping slightly forward, this team is determined to make it to the third checkpoint.
And it looks like they have made it to the third checkpoint. They have the Krabby Patty and are going to be beginning to head up to the top of the pool.
As they power forward, it appears as though they have not mastered the art of paddling.
They have themselves lined up. They just need to travel in a straight line as quick as they can to get to a spot where they can throw the Krabby Patties.
Due to the box shape and little reinforcement on the side walls are beginning to cave in, and due to the water, the saran wrap is slowly falling off, letting water into the boat.
They're still fighting hard, even though that front corner there looks like it wants to go under the water. It hasn't yet. And as long as it doesn't, they should be able to complete the race.
Attempting to reinforce the walls, they try pushing them outwards and leaning into the middle.
Reaching for the paddle, looks like she's just tipping over the boat more. The walls of the boat still haven't gone under the water. A very nice recovery there to keep the paddle and get the boat back upright. They missed the first shot and the second shot. And the third shot hits off the front of the chum bucket, but bounces back up and in.
Losing the paddle again. Let's see if they can get back to the start.
Reaching for the paddle causes the boat to cave in on itself and sink.
All of which are going to be in the boat and have chosen to do t-shirts as SpongeBob characters, including SpongeBob, Patrick, and Plankton. The boat almost tips in the starting spot, but it looks like it's recovered. Looks very unstable. They're still trying their best to keep it upright and hopefully make it over to their first station. Essentially, their design is just a box of cardboard with a hollow point on the end of it to shape it like a canoe.
Looks like the cardboard underneath the saran wrap is wet. And the boat almost tips again, but recovers.
Despite a few mishaps in the beginning, like dropping their paddle, they are on their way to the first checkpoint.
Slowly they make their way over to the first checkpoint. The boat continues to tip on the side which has now become the front. They're reaching for the Krabby Patty. They have the Krabby Patty. It's in the boat, but it looks like someone's lost a paddle. The paddle has been recovered. And they're going to try to turn over to the second station.
Using the wall, they are attempting to push off with their hands rather than with their paddles.
Looks like the front corner of the boat has dipped in the water. And they're taking on water right now.
But they are determined to stay up.
And now the water has just pulled them back in. And the next boat is in the water. The next boat is the second Jennings boat of the day. The team name is the Hunters, and they call their boat Mary.
On this team, we have Pratam, Bishal, Prashik, and Ariel. Some interesting facts about this team is that Pratam says she was born on Christmas Day, and her quote is, "I'm good at some sports like soccer, even though I don't go outside." Bishal is good at chess, math, and talks a lot. Prashik says, "There is nothing interesting about me," but Mr. Blankenship says, "I do not believe that." And Ariel is a pitcher in her softball team.
They have almost made it to the first checkpoint. Reaching for the Krabby Patty, they successfully grabbed it and put it in the boat. They're now working very hard to make it to the second checkpoint. Doing a very good job of paddling now. They have their second Krabby Patty, are turning to their third checkpoint. They have the third Krabby Patty and are going to begin to turn to the top of the pool.
The name of Jennings' boat appears to be Mary. I wonder if that has personal significance study for racers.
They're quickly making their way to the top of the pool, trying to find a good stopping point. The first Krabby Patty misses and lands back in the pool. The second one does the same, and the third one bounces off the wall into the chum bucket, taking 2 seconds off of their time.
On the right side of their boat, the saran wrap has fallen off and is detaching from itself, making it very difficult to stay afloat.
Luckily for them, they don't have much more farther to go. They just need to make it to the finish line on the other side of the pool, which they're about halfway to right now.
Another interesting part of their design is that they have chosen to use saran wrap as part of the structure of their robot of their boat and have cutouts entirely surrounded by saran wrap.
And they have finished the race. It looked like it may have been a little close at some times, but the boat worked out fine. The next middle school team is the second team from East, and they are the Cashier Boat.
On this team, we have Abigail Croft and Kaitlin Parr. Some interesting facts about Abigail is that she wants to be a dog trainer and groomer. Her favorite class is history, and she loves sports. Kaitlin would like to go into photography, is in the ETS program and the LeBron James Family Foundation, and is funny, bubbly, and music is her life.
This is another boat with a fun design. It has a cash register on the front of the boat. So the people in the boat would be a cashier. The boat looks very similar to that Squidward sits at the Krusty Krab. They are in the boat. They're being handed their paddles and are leaving the starting area. Paddling as quickly as they can to the first station, which is very quick. One of the faster teams we've seen today. They have their first Krabby Patty. It is in the boat. They're turning over to the second station. Still paddling very quickly. This looks like something they've done before. And they're nearly to the second station and have the second Krabby Patty. They're kind of hugging the wall over there. They need to get away from the wall in order to get to the third station. Traveling very quickly to the third station. They have their last Krabby Patty and are going to do a complete turnaround to head up here.
Unlike some of the other canoes we've seen today, this team actually looks like a canoe and has a flat bottom rather than a curved bottom.
Seems like the cash register in the front, although it looks really nice, is getting in the way of paddling at some points. And they're throwing in the Krabby Patties. First one lands in the chum bucket. The second one lands in the Krusty Krab. And the other one lands in the other Krusty Krab. It looks like there's some water in their boat. But it still looks like it's going strong. They need to turn around in order to get to the finish line. They're right along the wall. And they've completed the race successfully. Looks like the cash register is intact. Some of the senior helpers are just in awe of how well constructed the cash register is. The next team is called the Four-Leaf Clovers, 10th graders here at Firestone, and they call their boat the Ss Shamrock.
On this team, we have JP, Aiden, Carly, and Emily, and Aiden and Carly will be in the boat. Some interesting facts about Aiden is that he plays the pan flute and can watch a whole season of any TV show in one day. Also joining them in the boat is JP, and some interesting facts about JP are that he is a self-described meme god, is socially awkward, and is a bassoon enthusiast.
They're paddling over to the first station. They have the first Krabby Patty.
Unlike some of the other three-person boats, they've balanced themselves out very evenly.
On the side of the boat, they have shamrocks to match the name, the SS Shamrock.
Following them throughout the course is their teammate Emily, who is giving them advice on how to paddle.
And they have their third Krabby Patty. Some of the seniors just gave Aiden some advice of how to paddle a little better. They're nearly to the top of the pool, and they're going to begin throwing the Krabby Patties. JP's throwing them. First one into the chum bucket, and the second one in the Krusty Krab. And the other one went into the chum bucket, but bounced out into the pool.
Surprising all members of this boat.
And they're going to head back to the finish line. They've completed the race. And as that boat gets taken out of the water, the next one will be prepared to be put in the water. This is a Firestone team made up of freshmen. Their team name is WAB, and they call their boat the BFB.
On this team, we have Andrew, Jude, Jamari, and Tay, all of which will be in the boat, except for Andrew due to illness. Some interesting facts about Jude, Jamari, and Tay is that Jude can play a wicked guitar, Jamari is a black belt in judo, and Tay loves all kinds of sports.
It appears on the front of the boat. Jude got in the boat and had a hard landing. The boat appears to be okay, and Jude appears to be okay.
To even out the weight, they've put Jude in the back of the boat and Jamari and Tay in the front.
As Jamari steps in with his captain's hat, which he appears to have stolen from Charlie, the boat sinks, soaking the memes that they've placed in the front of the boat.
A valiant effort on part of this team.
Another interesting note about the boat is after the party boat decided they could not put the cup holder back in their boat, they gave the cup holder to them, and the cup holder was placed in their boat. The next boat coming in the water is a group of 10th graders whose boat is called El Torpedo, and the group is called the Submariners.
On this team, we have Taryn Lee, Josh Eisen, and Jacob Murray. Jacob Murray himself is a swimmer here at Firestone, and this boat was built entirely around him, in which it is a small opening that his body just perfectly fits in.
He's trying to get into that opening now. His legs are underneath, and he is in.
If this boat goes down, it's going to be a struggle for Jacob to get out.
He's trying to figure out the stability of the boat. He seems to be okay with it and is tipping back and forth as he paddles away.
The idea for this boat is that they would have a two-sided paddle so that he could paddle on both sides without moving himself around.
He's doing some shimmies to keep the boat upright.
This is one of the most anticipated boats here at Firestone.
The boat took on some water, but still looking okay. He was able to fix it. He's shimmying his way over to get the first Krabby Patty, which he has and is now placed in the boat. Hopefully he doesn't lose the Krabby Patties in the boat.
This boat also has racing stripes on the front because the plan was that Jacob was going to go speeding through the water.
He's making his way over to the second checkpoint. Just tipping, shimmying back into place, paddling his way sideways to the wall, grabs the Krabby Patty, places it in the boat, and is going to begin paddling away.
Some interesting facts about Jacob is that he can do push-ups. He is in the synchronized swimming group here at Firestone, and he can swim. His favorite character on SpongeBob is Larry the Lobster.
He has reached the third checkpoint, but he tips over. The boat flips. He's made it out of the boat, although it did look a little difficult there. They had a nice run, just couldn't finish it off. Some stability problems. The next group is some freshmen here at Firestone. They call themselves the Bubble Buddies, and their boat is called What in Flotation.
On this team, we have Isaac Kohler, Josh, Carson Vanek, and Nick R.
They're getting their mandatory pictures done.
Some interesting facts about this team is that Isaac likes bubble bass, and his favorite food is seafood, but there is no correlation. Josh loves SpongeBob and math. Carson likes bubble bass, so that's something, and Nick likes Gary.
The boat is now placed into the water, and they're all climbing into the boat. Looks like we'll have a three-person boat. They're paddling very quickly to the first station.
In the boat, we have Isaac and Nick in the front and Carson in the back.
They have their first Krabby Patty and are heading over to their second station. Now they have their second Krabby Patty and are heading over to the third station. They have their Krabby Patties and are heading up so they can throw them.
With the boat tipping slightly up to the side, it'll be interesting to see where they choose to throw from.
The first one is in the chum bucket, as is the second one and the third one, taking 6 seconds off of their total time. paddling as quickly as they can to the finish. And they've completed the race. The next group is a tinfoil boat. The team is called Rippin' My Pants, and they call their boat the SS Rippin' My Pants.
On this team, we have Joe Garrow, Max Davis, Jacob Woodford, and Sarah. In the boat, we will have Joe. This boat was specifically designed for him to account for his small stature.
When building this boat, they had one of their beams, their main beam across the bottom of the boat, snap overnight. So then they had to take a day and fix that, and they ended up doubling up that beam so it wouldn't snap again.
Due to the curved bottom, there is very little balance within this boat, so Joe has to maintain a perfect center of gravity in order for this to float.
He has his paddle, but he just tips immediately. It's very difficult to build a tinfoil boat, as you can see right there.
A nice try on the part of the Rippin' My Pants.
The next group is freshmen, and they call their team name Friends the Sitcom, and their team boat is called the Ss Gaylord, named after the type of cardboard that we have.
On this team, we have James, Bowman, Joey, and Isaac. Some interesting facts about this team is that James does skateboarding, snowboarding, and loves burritos. Isaac likes to eat and sleep. Bowman would like to go to the college that David Lynch went to, but he does not know the name. And Joey just wants to go to some sort of school.
The boat is now being carried over to the pool and is being placed in the pool right now. They're now getting into their boat.
In the back of the boat, we have James, and in the front, we have Joey.
Have gotten their first Krabby Patty and are turning to go to the second one.
Similar to the designs that our teacher, Mr. Spak, does, this boat is long and has a curved front.
And they have their second Krabby Patty now. And they'll be turning to get to their third Krabby Patty. Seems like they're having a problem maneuvering around that corner, but they've got their third Krabby Patty and are going to begin to make their way up to the spot where they can throw them. And they're throwing the Krabby Patties. First one goes in the Krusty Krab. The second one into the other Krusty Krab. And the third and final one into the Chum Bucket. And they're going to head back to the finishing point if they can turn the boat around, which they've seemed to figure out, even though they're still hugging the wall. And it looks like this boat will survive the race. They just have to hit the wall to finish their time.
And they have survived the race, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up.
The next boat is a group of 10th graders. They call themselves the Captains, and their boat is called the Ss Motorboat.
On this team, we have Nathan, Luke, Connor, and Seth. Some interesting facts about them is that Nathan loves adventuring outside in Jimmy John's. Luke is the holder of the largest ant farm in the Northern Hemisphere and claims to be Mr. Spak's favorite student. Connor likes chicken wings and pizza and likes hiking and mountain biking, and also wears socks and sandals on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Seth claims to be the Olympic gold medalist in the luge and the women's beach volleyball, and would like to go to the Derek Zoolander schools for kids who can't read good and want to do other good things too. Nathan would like to go to the University of Cincinnati for aerospace engineering. Luke would like to go to Platt College for women's studies, and Connor would like to go to OSU for aerospace engineering.
And the boat is now in the water. Looks like they're trying to balance everyone out as they're getting in. They're being handed their paddles. And they're going to go on their way.
In the back of the boat, we have Seth and Luke, and in the front, we have Nathan and Connor.
It looks like we have another broken paddle. Part of the handle of the paddle is currently floating in the water. It appears that the teams that have chosen wooden paddles have had more success. They have their first Krabby Patty, and it looks like they're going to start heading directly into where the stick of the paddle is. Nope, they go around it. They don't want that piercing a hole through their boat. The back of the boat features some sort of spoiler. Not really sure what the purpose is other than design.
Despite this broken paddle, they are making good time.
They have their third and final Krabby Patty.
It appears as though there's a power imbalance due to the broken paddle on Connor's side.
Nathan and Connor decide to switch paddles. Nathan thinking he's the stronger paddler. They're throwing their Krabby Patties. It hits the diving board and goes into the water. One goes in the chum bucket and the other goes into the Krusty Krab. Maybe if they chose a different place to stop at, they wouldn't have missed that first shot by hitting the diving board. And they're heading over to the finish line. The next boat getting ready to go in the water is called the Flying Duchesses, and the team is called the Flying Duchesses.
On this team, we have Anya, Hannah, Helen, and Ashley, all four of which are in the robotics club here at Firestone. Helen and Hannah are in the Akron School for the Arts, and Ashley and Anya are in IB. In the boat, we will have Anya and Hannah.
And they have their paddles, and they're beginning their race. They've made it to the first checkpoint with relative ease, and they're going to be headed over to the second one.
Unlike other teams here today, they have chosen to paddle on both sides, making it easier to go straight.
The back of their boat features a small flag. They have their second Krabby Patty and are going to be headed to get their third.
They're going strong after completing 2 checkpoints.
They have their third Krabby Patty and are going to begin heading up to the top. And they're going to begin shooting. Hits off the front of the chum bucket. That one goes in the chum bucket, as does that one. So they'll get 4 seconds taken off of their time. Part of their flag is getting wet, but the rest of the boat is staying very dry.
They're in the home stretch now.
They're trying to aim themselves so that way they can get to the finish line easily. But they're kind of spinning around right now. And they have completed the race. And their boat is being taken out of the water. And the next boat will be coming in. That boat is a Tinfoil Boat called Jokajanijo. It is the collection of the first letters of all of the people on the team.
On this team, we have Nick, Jake, Carissa, Joe, and Josh. Carissa will be in the boat.
And it looks like Josh has acquired the tinfoil hat that has been going around. I've seen Charlie and Jamari with those earlier.
Very similar to an earlier boat design, this is a canoe with a insanely curved bottom.
Seems like Chris is trying to figure out her balance. She's getting really close. She has her paddle, and she's got a couple paddle strokes in. But her boat is getting really close to sinking, but it's staying up. She's made it out of the starting gate, but quickly sinks down as she salutes the crowd goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, a quick announcement out of surprise for you. The very boat that Mr. Johnson and Mr. Speed ran in will now be raced by Matthew Cheese, Jacob Phillips, Jacob Fuller, and Dustin James in an attempt to beat their score.
Well, they will be bringing in the boat that Mr. Johnson and Mr. Svita had and having some of the seniors try to race it and see if they can beat his time. This is something that's never been done, but there's always a first for everything. As the boat is recovered and is going to be put back into the water. since the crew that stabilizes it will be in the boat, it's going to be a little more difficult getting into the boat. It appears the people in the boat will be Jacob Billich, Jacob Kohler, Matt Dees, and Dustin James. And they're going to begin their vigorous paddling because they must beat Mr. Johnson and Mr. Svita.
Seeing as how this boat has been used once before, it does have water damage already.
The one side of the boat is starting to cave in, probably because of the water damage that was already sustained in the earlier run.
But this team is still determined to beat their score.
They're going as fast as they can to get to the second checkpoint. Dustin's now standing up, and Jacob Kohler is getting out of the boat as the boat tips. Looks like they cannot beat the time. Jacob Kohler is excited that he was able to get out of the boat before the boat sunk. These boats were not designed to be run twice, and that is why the boat sunk. Jacob Billich is making excuses, saying that his paddle is the worst in America. That was the final boat race of the day. Thank you for joining us for the 2017 boats competition at Firestone, and we hope you'll join us next year.
So the final results for the best middle school team is East number 2. The best high school team was What in Flotation by the Bubble Buddies. The best tinfoil boat was Floaty McFloatface by the Goofy Goobers. And the best overall and best adult boat goes to senior staff number 1.
I'm Mike, and this is Maggie, and hope you join us next year for the boat race.